What's this week's Devil in Detail podcast? I'm Rob Parkinson, and we're here talking all things Salford Red Devils. Joining the show this week, as ever, we've got Paul Whiteside, fresh from his holiday abroad. How was it, Paul?
Yeah, it was very good, thank you, mate. We flew out from Leeds Bradford last Friday, I think it was. A bit of a nightmare airport, it's only tiny, but it was good. We had a nice time. Hotel was good. To be honest with you, we didn't actually leave the hotel. We got there on the Friday, and it was that big, the complex of it. We just stayed there all week. There was that much to do, loads of pools and that. And it was very warm, it was very hot. So every time I got too hot, I just got in the pool to cool down. Then stayed there for an hour, got back out, and that sort of thing. Kids loved it. Just spent the whole week swimming. I followed Salford on Twitter. I wasn't going to do. I kept saying to Ellen when they played Leeds, I'm not bothered. I'll find out later on, but I couldn't sit still, so I followed it on Twitter. And we sat at the bar actually, and I was moaning to Ellen, saying, "Oh, it's 6-0 already." I kept whinging about it, but no, it was one of them. I phoned my dad. He went and gave me the. You can't rest, can you? So he gave me the full lowdown, said how we were robbed and whatever. And he's not usually like that, but he said, "Oh, we was in the game. We should have kicked a penalty goal and got it back to 18-16," and told me all about it. So I'm an expert on that game, even though I've not seen it. So yeah, so I'm refreshed. Yeah, back to work on Monday. So all good.
Rumour has it you bumped into a celebrity as well.
Oh yeah, Paul Eaton, yeah, out of beautiful South and House Martins. I seen him playing cards at night time and said to her, and I said, "I'm sure that's that Paul Eaton." So anyway, he was queuing up behind the night after this. He was queuing up at the bar behind me. I was just getting Ellen some pina coladas. I didn't drink alcohol on holiday; it was too hot, so strictly water for me. Okay. But no, getting her a pina colada, and I just said to her, I said, "Oh, we could do you on the entertainment tonight because this singer's rubbish," and he was laughing, and we just had a bit of a chat. So he was a nice fella, and I kept bumping into him then around the pool and said hi and what have you. But it's one of them. He's on holiday. You don't like to keep mithering, do you? But I wish I'd have got a sting off him now for the like you said. But you don't think at the time, do you? I was a bit starstruck. So, but no, what nice fella, really nice fella.
No truth in the rumour. The first thing he said to you was, "You're Paul Whiteside, man of the people."
Well, what I wanted to say to him was, "Is it Happy Hour again?" Because that's his song. That was one of his songs, but I thought I bet he'll thump me for saying that to somebody.
Yeah. Paul Parkin is away this week. I think he's in Italy. So he's obviously got his prediction league title to defend. Obviously, we'll go on to that later in the show. But opportunity for you to close the gap, Paul.
Yeah, he's doing very, very well on the Facebook one that we're in. I think there's 25 of us in that, and he's well clear at the top. I think Barry Jones is second. I think my dad's third. I think I'm up to sixth now. I've done all right last few weeks, but I can't see me catching Parky now. There's only got 4 weeks left, so I'm going to have to have some good weeks. I think he's going to steam away with it.
That confidence gone away?
Yeah, exactly. I think he's wrote his scores down already, hasn't he? Because he's not giving in. But yeah, he's done well this season. He must study the form though, because he's bang on nearly every week. A lot of his Aussie scores and that he does really well.
Good. What did I do? I've done nothing this week. I'm obviously going playing crazy golf tomorrow, which is good with the family. So got me putter out, bit of practice. Can't be it'd be like a shark in the water, when you go and say, "Oh, I never played this game before." Might just be able to get me putter out in the back garden tomorrow, have a bit of practice, and be Nick Faldo hopefully.
Where are you going for that? The Trafford Centre one?
No, one in Burnley.
Oh, so, Burnley,
yeah, we're up there with the family, so it's all family. The family title is there to be won tomorrow.
Make sure you got your pencil with you.
Yeah, and make sure we don't no dodgy scores. That's the important thing.
Yeah. No, be good. It's good. It's good. Crazy golf. I like that.
Yeah. So there's loads to go at this week. We're going to talk about Salford's win against Huddersfield. We're going to look back at the ladies' win against Widnes. We're going to look at all the big news coming out of the club this week. And then we're going to look and see what's happening in the world of Rugby League with Whiteside's World of Rugby League. And then we're going to preview all the games with our teams this weekend. So we'll start with the win against Huddersfield on Saturday. So Salford Devils were victorious on Saturday at the AJ Bell. They won 33 points to 16 against Huddersfield Giants, Paul. A good win for Paul Rowley's men.
Oh yeah, it was a great win. Wasn't expecting it, to be honest. I keep saying this every week. I go to the match and I think, oh yeah, maybe this week's going to be the week where it all falls apart. And it was tremendous. Again, I think the way we start against teams, I just don't think they can deal with it. That sort of attacking rugby. And Huddersfield, are well known for playing a percentages game, not making many mistakes, good defence, and they had no answer to that first the first 15 minutes we scored, I think the first 12 minutes we scored 3 tries. And the manner of the tries as well, the tries were just fantastic rugby. I mean, your first one, I think it was CO went over, great ball movement, and then you had Joe Burgess picked up, a chance for Huddersfield really, and he strode away there. I think Channel 4 showed it, and he was going like 25 miles an hour. I think they had like a speed gun on him. For that, so he shows the pace he's got there. And Callum Watkins scored that try there, great bit of play from him. And yeah, Huddersfield didn't know what had hit them there early doors, and we were 16-0 up before they knew where they were.
Yeah, just move slightly to your left-hand side, Paul. You're turning into the Phantom of the Opera again. That'll do. So, 16-0, great start, like you said. And that's important in games like, teams around you in that playoff, that you start well. And I thought we did fantastic. 16-0 in 15 minutes shows that, we were the team in the ascendancy.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I don't think Huddersfield created anything in that first half. The try they got was off a Salford mistake, wasn't it? Chris McQueen took the ball off Joe Burgess and scored that try. I mean, he's quite a talisman, him, for a forward. He scored about 14 tries this season. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought that was totally against the run of play. It was a game that was dominating, and for me, I think if Brodie Croft hadn't got a sin bin, I think we'd have had 40 or 50 points in that game. I think that sort of just reined us in a bit, really. It took the shine off us and just took us out of our stride. It gave Huddersfield a leg up. They got a penalty goal, and then they scored a couple of tries just after half time, didn't they? They did the damage while Brodie Croft was on. I think the second try had just come back on. But other than that, they never really looked like scoring again in the game. And for me, the pleasing thing really was the second half performance. Yeah, we had a bit of adversity there, with Huddersfield, and they defended really well, and then managed the last 15 minutes superbly. Mark Sneyd, for me, he bossed that last 15. He kicked a penalty goal, he dropped a goal, and then created a super try for Harvey Levett. So, I mean, hats off to Mark Sneyd there. Doesn't always get the plaudits. Brodie Croft gets a lot of them, but I thought Mark Sneyd was excellent.
Yeah, game management is so important, and that, like you said, when Brodie Croft got put in the bin, from that point, then next 20 minutes, we couldn't complete a set, nothing love no money, and pressure built. Huddersfield scored a couple of tries, and we're looking to get back in it. And I spoke to the stats guy after that, and we said we were completing round about under 50% at that point. And that was a worry for me, because I thought to myself at that point, I was like, they're going to come back into this. But like you said, Mark Sneyd is a top game management player. And that last 20 minutes, he got the team completing. He kicked a penalty goal, he kicked a drop goal, and like you said, set the try up for Harvey Levett. And that is what it's all about. And that's why he's in this team, to settle everyone down when it really matters and get us over the line.
Yeah, and he did do. I mean, just chatting to Ryan Bryle after the game about the drop goal, and it was never really in doubt the way they worked that play. It was so comfortable for Mark Sneyd, and you could see it, in the stand, the way they worked. It was a great piece of play that. It just took the game away from Huddersfield. But I felt a bit sorry for Salford in a way, because I think they deserved to put points on Huddersfield, because they were miles better side. And to me, it just, that Brodie Croft incident, it was silly from Croft, really, because he didn't really need to do that, because I don't think Huddersfield would have scored there anyway. They'd have got one more tackle and they would have been tackled anyway. But I could see what he was trying to do. But I did think it was a bit harsh from the referee. But I suppose it, in a way, it is a professional foul, isn't it? So yeah, the sin binning didn't help us at all. And you sort of thought then, going into half time, you're going to get a backlash from the Giants in the second half. And I'm pretty sure Ian Watson would have given the rounds of the kitchen after that first half. But I don't think Huddersfield were a bad side of the first half. We've shown in recent weeks we're unplayable. Some of the tries, I mean, look at the Briley one with Kensio from a set scrum. That's one of the best tries we've scored this season. They're like little 1-2 between each other, and over they went. It was absolutely quality stuff to watch.
Yeah, they are playing some fantastic rugby, and it's sort of expansive, but not overly sort of don't gamble that much. They know when the pass is on and they make the pass, if that makes sense. And that's an important thing, obviously, with this team, because obviously we talk about structure and we talk about, being off the cuff and all that, and not being off the cuff. And it's kind of, we're playing rugby league the right way. And that's a good thing. Obviously, we've watched Salford, for many years, and this team, can play. And I think, it's a team we really need to kind of sort of savour. I think that they're all playing some good rugby at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like that every time I call. I think you just need to make the most of this, because you never know when it's going to turn, because it does nothing ever lasts forever, does it? So, we could be watching dross again, soon. You don't know, do you? You don't know what's going to happen next season. Might be a relegation fight. You don't know what's around the corner, so you just got to enjoy it while it lasts. And we have done this season. It's been great, and the rugby that they play, I think they just play with so much freedom, don't they? And confidence as well. But it's not all been plain sailing this season. We've had some defeats, haven't we? In particular, the game at Huddersfield, Hull KR, where we were beaten. But I think over the last sort of 2 months, we have gained an awful lot of confidence, and we look a totally different side to the side from the early rounds of the season. So remember, we started with 2 good wins, didn't we? But then fell off a bit. Got that defeat at Wigan in the cup. But I think now we're a match for anybody, aren't they? And I was just trying to work out the other day who we'd play in the playoffs. If we were to finish 6th, we probably wind up playing either Catalans away or Huddersfield away. So, you look at them games and you think, if we could get in the playoffs, we could have a good tilt at, putting pressure on somebody and perhaps, getting a win. We'd probably have to go to St Helens the week after that and win there to get to the grand final. But I think if we could get into the playoffs, it's going to be tough, because you look at the sides around, it's so congested now, and there's no room for error really now, is there? But I think if we were to get in there, I think we'd cause problems.
Yeah, we spoke to Ryan Brierley, Tim Laffite and Alex Gerrard after the game. This is what they had to say. So, Paul, all the boys sort of happy with the result and positive going forward.
Yeah, I think every time you speak to the players, they're full of confidence, aren't they? And they're working really hard, aren't they, to get the results. I mean, just writing the preview this week, I'm just saying in that Paul Roller's got a bit of a luxury now at the moment, where he's got a few more players to choose from. Players are starting to come back from injury. I'm not saying we're fully recovered yet, but it's great to see Shane Wright back in the team. Tyler Dupree's come back in. Harvey Levett had a bit of a cameo at the end of that one. He's getting right. So at least Paul Roller's got a bit more to work with. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we had 18 players. And one of them wasn't going to play, so the team was picking itself. So it's good to see that there's a bit more now for him to go at. But yeah, the players seem full of confidence, and I think they sort of believe they can go all the way, and that's they've got no fear. I think that's the good thing about it now. The way they play, and you can see that. I mean, look at St Helens. We got 44 points against St Helens. They absolutely battered Hull, be 60 points away from home at the weekend. So it just shows you how good our result was. So, barring that Leeds game, that Leeds defeat could come to bite us, because if we could have won there, we'd have been odds on for the playoffs. But no, we've got to do it the hard way, haven't we? And we've got to go to Catalan and get a result.
Yeah. I spoke to Paul Rowley, Kurt Haggerty, Max Need after the game in the press conference. Is what they had to say. So obviously, Kurt Haggerty, Paul Rowley, and Max Need sort of happy with the result. Spoke about sort of that bit of a wobble in that second half, but like I've said on this podcast, Max Need knows his way around the field, and he knows his way how to win games, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and I love that. What Paul Rowley does, he doesn't just go in the press conference and make excuses every week. He brings somebody in with him different every week. He brings a couple of players in, like Max Need goes in, Kurt Haggerty, and he really sort of warms to the press now, and I think that's great. I think the club have been really professional this season. It's great to see the players in suits as well. I think they look really smart, and I just think Paul Rowley's doing a great job like that. I saw his interview on Channel 4 and with Joe Burgess, and Joe Burgess is great when you speak to Joe Burgess. He's really funny and he's got a great sense of humour. But Paul Rowley's very, very humble, and he talks a lot of sense as well. And I think he's good to listen to. He's not a coach that comes out with a load of excuses every week and moans on. He does talk about the game. And while we're on, before I forget, Channel 4's coverage was absolutely outstanding, I thought, the weekend of the match. I watched it back on Sunday, and it was like, wow, it was so interesting. All the features. They had a feature on Ian Watson at Huddersfield, which was dead interesting behind the scenes, and they had all the history about Salford, and it was really, really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm not going to go at Sky, but I thought it was a lot better than what they come up with. I think they need to up their game now and get on the same level as Channel 4. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I suppose that's what you want. You want sort of our sport to be profiled on national telly, and like you said, I think it was very impressive. The ladies were on there as well, waving the cup around, which was great. Obviously, gives them a good profile as well. And yeah, it was fantastic. Obviously, you're hoping with the Sky deal, there'll be more sort of games possibly for Channel 4 to come, and that's the big thing. We need to make sure that our sport is front and centre nationally, so then there's more eyes on it, and then possibly more attendance, more sponsors, sport gets bigger, everybody wins.
Yeah, well, I thought they did that. Adam Mills, the presenter, taught the game. I thought Helen Skelton was brilliant. She was brilliant with the ladies. She was so enthusiastic. They're in the change rooms. It just gave you an insight into it rather than just a match and this is the game. It sort of told you about Salford, a bit of the history. And I mean, I said it to you before, Salford's a historic place. It's a very cultural sort of place. We mentioned the music, the likes of Happy Mondays, Joy Division, stuff like that. A lot of stuff goes on in and around Salford, doesn't it? It has done over the years. So to paint it like that to people around the country on Channel 4, it's like, wow, that's come out of Salford. I thought it was brilliant. I really did. And the commentary team was really good. Kyle Amo was great. I think it's Mark Wilson, the guy commentating, was interesting and good. And then the pundits on as well were really good. So it was great, and it was a great win as well. And I enjoyed the interview they did with Wattle at the end. He was really miffed, wasn't he? So yeah, it was great. It really was. It was really well presented, and it was a good win.
Yeah, 4,400 as well. Good crowd, considering it was on the telly. Nice weather as well. Good to see that East Stand full. So I think it was good. It was a good day all round.
Yeah, credit to Huddersfield. They brought a good following of supporters, didn't they? And I mean, yeah, 4,400 is not bad. But I think what you've got to remember this time of year, like myself the week before and Parky this week, a lot of people are on their holidays, aren't they? People are going away. There's a lot going on. And, summertime, isn't it? People are doing stuff with their families and that and going abroad and things like that because they've not been abroad for the last couple of years, with the pandemic and what have you. So I think as you go into the later rounds, we've got Hull to come at home and Warrington as well. I think you'll get good crowds for both those two games. And then we've got the Cast game away from home as well after Catalans. So yeah, I think there were two more good attendances at Salford.
Yeah, looking at the stats, top tacklers, Callum Watkins 30, Andy Ackers 30, Shane Wright 42, Elijah Taylor 35, and Alex Gerrard 31. Forwards going through an awful lot of work there in them conditions.
Yeah, well, Shane Wright in particular, I think, deserves a good rap because he's been out for such a long time. I think he'd been out for 16 matches he's missed on the spin, so it's a fair few months, and I'm pretty sure he played 80 minutes as well. So a great stint from him. He's a real workhorse. He got through tons of work in that game, and yeah, he's a big star for us. And Andy Ackers, I must admit, I need to give him some praise because I was a bit like that about Andy, but. Is he the hooker for us? And last season I thought he was a bit patchy, but this season, especially the last month or two, he's really held his hand up, and I think he's been absolutely outstanding. And Chris Atkin as well, coming off the bench, has been really good. So I've heard rumours that Chris might be leaving. I don't know whether he signed a contract or not, but I'd love him to stay. I don't think there's many hookers out there that can do a better job than those two. So yeah, Tyler Dupree came in as well. I thought Tyler did a good job after his injury. He'd been out since the Magic weekend, so he came back in, and he's another star for us. Only young man, but he's got an awful lot of strings to his bow. So yeah, they got through. Alex Gerrard, I mean, what a signing he's been. He's been a tremendous signing for us. He's playing in the form of his career, isn't he? Along with Jack Ormer, I think they're playing some great rugby.
Yeah. Top meter makers, Callum Watkins 156, Joe Burgess 195, Tim Laffey 85, Brodie Croft 87, Andy Ackers 103, and Shane Wright 78. Joe Burgess run 195 metres, but he did run about 70 and then one goal.
Yeah, but Joe Burgess, like you say, he's coming into real form now, isn't he? Ken Seo on one side and Joe Burgess on the other. You give either of them to a sniff and they're going to score points. And they're great to watch. Burgess, when he gets that gap and he goes through it, he just glides across the pitch. He's super to watch. And yeah, he's a good lad as well. So Ken Seo comes up with the tries. I mean, 38 tries they've got between them this season. And that's some doing that. I mean, you've got Dean Cross in there as well. I think he scored 11 and 12. Tim Laffey's chipped in. The back line. I mean, I would like to get a list now of who's scored, because I think more or less everybody's scored, haven't they? I mean, they do that nudie run around the pitch, don't they, if they don't score? And I can't think who's not scored. I'm pretty sure most people have scored. Because Levette scored, didn't he? So he's off that. Sam Looker got one at the Magic weekend. But no, great. I mean, Tim Laffey, he's unplayable at the time. How many times is he going to do that pass, that flick out pass? He's done it. He does it every week. It's not just a one-off thing with him. It's becoming his trademark pass really. So yeah. And Callum Watkins, how many meters did he make? 150 odd.
156.
Wow. And a back rower.
Yeah.
Outstanding. He's got to be in that England team. I'd have him in that England team tomorrow. I think just for his experience alone, but the way he's playing, he's like a new player. And they said on the telly, he's huge. And he is. When I was stood at that doorway, where we stand for the interviews, and he comes past you, and he's massive. He's absolutely massive, but playing brilliant, playing really well.
Yeah, 156 metres, 30 tackles. Like you said, features in both, as well as Andy Ackers. And, top teams have top players, don't they, who work hard. And stats like that show how hard he is working. Like you said, this England squad, you need top players in it. And whether he plays in the centre, whether he plays in the back row, he's in good form. So why wouldn't you pick him?
Yeah, he's probably not got the pace for the centres anymore. If you're talking about playing against Kangaroos, they're a class above anything in the Super League, aren't they? But he's probably not got that pace anymore. But I think back row, the size of him and the way he can offload the ball. The try he scored against Huddersfield was absolute quality. His instinct there to kick that ball through, dribble it through, and then the pick up, I thought was outstanding. And it's the work he does as well. And he's been great. He really has been brilliant for us this season. And he's a confidence. People playing with him gain confidence from him as well. He's a leader on the pitch, and that's what I think he's helped some of the less experienced guys like Dion Cross. People like you look at Dion, they've really played at Super League level, but he looks like he's played there for years. So he's been a great sign. So I just think the whole. I was thinking today. I was looking at Lee Express and looking at some of the other teams, and the likes of Hull probably spent loads more money than us, Warrington. And you look at their sides, they sort of top heavy in certain positions, and then they've got nobody else in the other position. Whereas us, I think you've got a hats off to Ian Blease and Paul King and Paul Roller, everyone who's involved in the recruitment, because they've recruited really, really well. Everybody knows their job, everyone's in the right positions, and that's on the back of tons of injuries as well. So I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, big thanks for your 3-word match reports and man of the matches. Matt Carr, Huddersfield broken down. His man of the match is Andy Ackers. Ricky P and his dogs in sale. Scott Joe Salford. Man of the match was Laffey. Paul Parkin on a roll. Ackers. Stuart Smart. Fantastic team performance. Ackers. George Crompton just too good. Steve Bennett, breathtaking, brilliant rugby. Watkins, Andy Smith, Red Hot Devils, Watkins. Mike Whitney, superb clinical effort, Watkins. Colin Reynolds, fantastic first half, Ackers. John Waite, champagne to Bovril, right. Craig Carter, Reds on fire, Watkins. Richard Martin, super slick rugby, Ackers. Jamie Pilkington, that hurt me. I'm not sure why it hurt you, Jamie, but we loved it, every minute of it, Paul.
Should have bet on Huddersfield. Hey, talking about Bovril, I tell you drink Bovril at the match.
Come.
When I was at the match on Saturday, I turned around and Roy Ellaby sits behind me. Said hi to him at the start of the game. He sat there with a cup of Bovril.
Yeah.
30 degrees or something, Roy. So I don't know whether it's mind you, that'd be an ice Bovril. People have iced coffees these days. Perhaps they're doing ice Bovril now, but I can't believe that one, Roy, in that weather.
Don't they say cup of teas cool you down? Is
yeah. A little wise tale, that,
isn't it? Adam Wilde is Ackers Alka, Ackers, Peter Grimshaw, E.T. Unbelievable, Taylor, Mark, Unbelievable Rugby League, Ackers, Steve Fairchild, nerve-wracking pleasure, Burgess, Les Keenan, breathtaking at times, Ackers, Paul Hardman, well-deserved win, Sneedy, Natalie Taylor, back on track, Laffey, KDL, never die attitude, the whole team, OSF, another team performance, Taylor, Nicholas Fletcher, weathered the storm, Ackers, Ronnie H, Watkins, he was great, Eric Watson, quality rugby league, Burgess, Julia Coleman, love Channel 4. We've said we all love Channel 4. Colin Wilson, Sonny Salford, Sizzle, Ackers, Andy Lancashire, nervous second half, Ackers, and finally Kenny Doyd, Fan Davidosi, Ackers. So everyone's in a good mood, good win, and showing our talents off of Channel 4. Lovely stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to say that. I mean, at the moment, I think we're playing the best rugby in the country. You know, you look at some of the other clubs, I'm not going to go at them, but right from the word go, the kickoff, we moved the ball straight away, didn't we, and went for it. And I think teams find that difficult to defend against, don't they? I mean, they don't know what you're going to throw at them. And when we get down in that 25, the amount of offloads, I mean, Tim Lathai, every time he's got the ball, he's offloading it. I mean, I think he's the highest offloader in the league in the stats. And yeah, it's great to watch. It's absolutely breathtaking to watch. I mean, my wife come on Saturday. She doesn't really follow rugby league. She just wanted to was going picking the dog up after the match, so she tagged along because I didn't know where it was, the kennels. So she came to the match, and even she was impressed with it. So you know, the atmosphere and the way they play in rugby, the crowd getting behind them. It's like there's probably not thousands of Salford supporters there, but the noise that they make, the noise that they generate, I think is outstanding. There could have been 10,000 in that ground for all we knew on Saturday, because it was just a fantastic atmosphere.
It's a great advert for everybody, you see, because we're on the Channel 4, it's national, isn't it? So the people watching in the pubs of Salford thinking, you know what, we're playing well here, next time we'll go. And that's what you're hoping for, aren't you, with what's going on with Paul Rowley effect, Rowley ball and all that. And obviously, latest minerals test passed, which is great. And obviously moving on to the next one.
Yeah, well, you look at, I shouldn't really say this, but you think people who were sat in a pub on Saturday watching Manchester United, you know, they got thumped, didn't they? And you might be thinking, perhaps it's worth going watching the other Red Devils, because they're struggling a bit at the moment, aren't they? So yeah, there's definitely something exciting going on at the AJ Bell. There really is. And the home games, I mean, you look at our home form this season. I mean, in the past, it's not really been a fortress, has it? But I think we've lost 3 at home, haven't we? We've won 8 now and lost 3. So we've got a real cracking home record this season. And, you know, if you're going to get to a game, we've got 2, like I said before, you've got 2 home games left now, the whole game on the Thursday and that Warrington game, last game. If you get to that whole game, you're going to be entertained. You really are.
Let's talk about entertainment. Let's talk about the ladies. They faced Widnes on Sunday and won 92 points to 0. Paul, what an amazing result! Obviously, to score that many points in that hot weather as well.
Yeah, well, we've just been watching the tries, haven't we? I couldn't get to the game on Sunday. I had a few bits and pieces on, but we've just watched the tries, and wow, some great tries, some great kicks through, some great lines running it. You know, just watching that, you can see how well they've been coached, because it's not just 5 drives. It's not just, you know, someone steamrolling the ball down the pitch. It's good rugby. They're playing like the men's team play. They really are playing well. So yeah, hats off to the ladies for the hard work they're putting in, because they've got to be fit, because they played 2 games there in a week, didn't they? Played Wednesday night and then on the Sunday. So in those conditions as well, absolutely blistering conditions. So yeah, some great tries, and you know, to score 92 points in a match takes some doing, doesn't it?
Yeah, obviously got to caveat by saying Widnes had a few injuries, a few ladies on holiday. They had to put in a couple of 16s, so they were short. But it's a good sign that we didn't ease off. It was 50-0 at half time, and we've seen Salford sides before that get in front and then just go through the motions in that second half. But Chris Bates ladies, they don't do going through the motions.
No, I think it's hard, you know, through history, when you look at big scores in matches. It's very rare that a team kicks on and scores a similar amount of points in the second half, as you normally put the cue on the rack at half time, don't you? It's very hard to keep to that intense level for 80 minutes. So yeah, hats off. I mean, the fitness looks absolutely tremendous. We've said that before. You know, they don't leave any stone unturned with regards to training. I think you've got ladies staying behind there to do extra training. And I mean, they're not professionals, are they? But they train like it and they play like it as well. So I mean, that's the winning formula, I think. I mean, they're part-time, you know, with jobs and things like that, but the way they're approaching it is like a full-time outfit, and that's the way they've got to go. You know, if you want to get into that Super League, that's the mentality you've got to have, and I think they've got that, and they've got that will to win, and that's going to take them a long way.
Yeah. Winger Lauren Ellison scored 4 tries. Paul, you know, what a player. She's gone under the radar a bit on this podcast, but in the last 3 games, she scored a try in the cup final. She scored 2 against Warrington Lunas. She scored 4 against Widnes. So looking at the pattern there, she's going to score about 8 against Hull.
Yeah, it looks like it, and plenty of pace as well. So
yeah.
I mean, you look at the way they're playing, it's an entertaining brand of rugby, and doing so well. And it was great that they got the recognition they deserved on Channel 4. I think it was great to see Ellen Skelton with them interviewing the ladies. I know Louise Felling was on there having a chat as well, wasn't she? So So yeah, great that they're getting that limelight, because they've not really got the limelight in the Rugby League press. I don't think they didn't really mention the Championship, do they, or the League Cup? I think it's just all the Women's Super League they mentioned, which is a bit unfortunate, really. But hopefully they'll change that next season. But no, great that they got the coverage that deserved on Saturday on the telly.
Yeah, she's not going on the radar anymore with 7 tries in 3 games, that's for sure. Taz also scored a hat-trick as well. Lovely show and goal from the halfway line. Cut open the Widnes defence was one of the highlights for me.
Yeah, and I suppose we've got to keep it under wraps, really, because we don't want other clubs coming in pinching our players, really.
No.
It needs to be a well-kept secret. So, no, I don't think that's the case at all. Yeah, another great performance. And you might know more than me. How many games have they got left now to the end of the season? It must be coming towards the end now.
I think it's 3. I think they've got Hull in the double header. They play Alton the week after, who are kind of our main competitors in this league. So if you're going to go down to one game this season, that'd be the one for me, because winner takes all there. And I think they play Stanley away in the last game of the season. I'll have to check that. And then obviously you've got playoffs and the grand final as well after that. But it's been it's like been a journey, hasn't it? And they've done everyone sort of proud with the brand of rugby they're playing and the way they've sort of handled themselves, in every aspect of being a Salford Red Devils player. And we've had them on here, sort of giving us insight, and it's been amazing.
They've grown as the season's gone, haven't they? And that's just going to keep growing. It's going to keep growing into next season now, and we've started something now, haven't they? And it's just how far they can go, and I think it's a very exciting journey that they're on, and it's going to continue. So, no matter what happens this season, from now on in, I think they've done everybody proud this season. They've lifted a trophy, but as I said before, they're professional now. They want to. I know they're not full-time professional, but they are in my eyes. They want to keep going, and they want to get to that grand final and do the business. And I don't think they're going to take the foot off the gas. They're going to be going for it.
Yeah, I forget sometimes that they're not, and obviously start sort of thinking like, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But like you say, they've got some fantastic players. Alex Simpson, what a player she is. She scored one from 60 yards on Sunday, sort of in and out, went round the fullback like she wasn't even there, and that's sort of genuine class. Sadie Rihadi, another wonderful player, and they've got strike everywhere, but also they've got big forwards as well who want to roll forward, like Vicky Kinney, who sort of work hard, Helena Walker. There's players, there's a lovely mix of X factor and hard graft, and that takes you a long way, doesn't it?
It's a team, Rob. It's a team, and that's what you need in a team. You need everybody to contribute, everybody to do the job. And the men's team do that, and the ladies' team are doing the same. And I think I keep mentioning Chris, the coach. I think he's done a great job putting that side together. And they've done really well. You can tell they're well coached. They're not off the cuff. It's very well planned, the tries that they score. It's not down to luck. That's down to how you prepare and how you train. And I think if you want to get anywhere in sport, you've got to take it seriously, haven't you? It's not a knockabout. I mean, everyone plays sport to enjoy it, but if you want to be successful in it, you've really got to live the life, haven't you? And from what I can see, the ladies are living that life, aren't they? And they're professional about it. They're taking it very, very seriously, and they come together like they are a professional outfit, and that's the way. That is the key to success for me.
Yeah, Demi Jones kicked 14 goals for 16 attempts. It also helps they've got a goal kicker who can he'd be like Deadeye when it comes to kicking goals.
Giving Steve Blakely a run for his money there. He kicked a load against Gateshead that time when we scored 100 points, didn't he? I'm not sure what the record is in a game, but that's good going. That's good success rate, that.
Yeah, obviously she's got her eyes on Mark Sneed. She wants to beat him percentage-wise. So I think Sneed's on something like 79, and I think she's on 77. So it's all in the melting pot with 3 games to go, whatever it is.
Yeah, well, it just shows you Mark Sneed's the top goal scorer for the Super League, but he's not even in the top 10 as percentages. So it just shows you how many tries Salford have actually scored. Because if he'd have kicked all the goals, he'd have been miles in front, but he's still top.
Yeah. We spoke to Chris Bates after the game. This is what he had to say. So that was Chris Bates talking to me after the game, Paul, and he talked about managing the situation with the weather and the forwards. And, it was hot. It was hard work for both sets of forwards.
Yeah, it was. It was out on the weekend, just doing anything, wasn't it? Really, just sitting about was warm, wasn't it? I think it's about 32 degrees on Sunday, so God knows what it was on the pitch there. So it's difficult, really difficult conditions, but to get through it, I think they've done really well to score the amount of points they did and not concede a point as well. That takes some doing.
Yeah, also talks about looking forward to Hull, and obviously Hull I think are on a good run at the moment, so that'll be a big test for our ladies.
Yeah, and am I right in saying it's on the main pitch, that game?
It's part of the doubleheader, I think.
Yeah, so that's another reason to get down there, really, isn't it? On the Thursday, it should be a cracker, that two games, and they deserve that. They deserve to be back with the doubleheader because it just showcases it a bit more, doesn't it? And adds to the occasion. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'm off that Thursday as well. I've got a day off with the kids, so I'm going to get down early.
I say we urge everybody to get down and support the ladies. They're on a wonderful season, wonderful journey, and hopefully it ends up with a League and Cup double.
Where's the grand final played at, Rob?
I haven't found out that yet. No, I can't. Our chickens too early.
Yet. Yeah, they've probably not decided yet, have they? Because they didn't with that League Cup game, did they, till the last minute?
We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure when we get there, they'll let us know.
Let's get there first.
Day out as well, hopefully. Sorry, go on.
Let's get there first, eh?
Yeah, you're channeling your inner Chris Bates now. All right, so that is all the chat about the matches this week, and now we'll look back at all the news coming out of the club this week. So, start with try the season competition. The club have released 5 tries scored by Salford players this season. We've got Chris Atkins' effort against Saints. We've got Joe Burgess' effort against Castleford. Sam Luckley's effort against Huddersfield. Brodie Croft's effort against St Helens, and Ryan Briley's effort against Huddersfield. Anyone standing out for you there, Paul?
I was thinking then when he said about Chris Atkins' try against St Helens, I thought, he didn't score, he got tackled. That was away at St Helens. I thought it would have been a great try if he scored it. But no, I tell you what, they all stand out, don't they? I mean, if you made a video this season, I mean, how many top tries have we scored? Nearly. Yeah. I mean, we don't score. My dad said this to me. He said, we don't really score boring tries. We're like barge overs from 5 yards out, like a lot of teams do. Every try we score is like, Harlem Globetrotter stuff, isn't it? And it has been. It's been tremendous. I mean, really, they might score another great try before the end of the season, so they might have to add some more onto this montage, might they? But I think for me, the Brodie Croft try against St Helens was special. So that was coming from you turn defence into attack there. But the set scrum move against Huddersfield, where Briley scored, I like that try. That was I loved seeing tries from set scrums. The shape of the team there, the shape of the back line, I thought was tremendous, and the composure to sort of not make that mistake, to keep, not forward pass it and keep it nice and crisp and clean. Thought it was great, but no, the Brodie Croft one I enjoyed. I mean, St Helens are a team that's given us probably a lot of pain over the years, and to score a try like that against the champions, it was special.
Yeah, so get your votes in, and the club will obviously tally them up, and we'll see who wins. I fancy Brian Briley one. I think some of them are kind of individual efforts, aren't they? Really, but the Briley one with the offload from Ken Seo was top draw.
Yeah, it was. Some of the offloads from Tim Lafayette, though, I mean, he could have a montage of his own. He's passed out the door to Joe Burgess. I think Joe owes him a ton of coffee, doesn't he, this season, for all the tries he put him in for.
Yeah, talk about coffees. Big thanks for all the people who's donated for our coffee, which is great. Obviously, all funds go back into the podcast, for subscriptions and equipment and stuff like that. So yeah, big thanks for everyone who donated last week, and hopefully, if you haven't donated yet, follow the link and buy me, Parky, and Paul a coffee and help us to create great content like this. Anything to add there, Paul?
No, thank you to everybody who's put in. Yeah, thank you very much. It means a lot. Support means a lot.
It does. Other news: the 2022 season awards evening will take place on the 31st of August. It's got a 2-course dinner. Then the awards ceremony takes place. You've got to dress up smart, Paul, so don't turn up in your boiler suit. And £50 per person, or £40 if you're a season ticket holder. I'm sure it'll be a great night. Very exciting times.
Yeah, we went to one a few years ago, didn't we? When was it the 2019 season? Me and you, we got to present the award, didn't we, to
We did.
Bleasy and Ian Watson? Yeah, I've still got the picture. Yeah, so yeah, I enjoyed that. It was good. I mean, obviously, the last couple of years we've not really been able to do it because of like COVID and things like that, have we? So, so that'd be great. I'm looking forward to going to that if I can. I'd like to go, provided I'm not getting anything on at work and whatever. So, so yeah. I mean, £40 if you're a season ticket holder, you know, for a meal. If you went out in town for a meal tonight, it'd cost you £40. Went for 2 courses. So, well, most places it would. So, so yeah, sounds a good night to me.
Yeah, so ring 01617861570 if you're a season ticket holder. To get the discount, you've got to go through your sort of ticketing thing that we set up at the beginning of the season to get your discount. If you got problems, you can ring the club, but that's the way they want it to do to get the discount, which is great. I know you're a tech savvy, Paul, so I'm sure you'll be able to do that.
No, I'll be phoning somebody up saying, "Can you help me? Can you help me, please?"
So yeah, so like you say, it promises to be a good night. I'm sure, you know, there'll be lots of awards, and you know, like you say, we've had a great season, so there's lots of competition for best player. We'll be holding that. We'll be putting our poll out shortly for our player of the year, and I'm sure our listeners will be involved in that, Paul, and it'll be a lot of choice, I think.
Yeah, I was like I said, I was just reading the Express today, and Brodie Croft's top of the Albert Goldthorpe medal table. He's just in front of Bevan French. I think he's got 24 points. So there's a fair chance he could get that if he keeps playing well, especially if we're getting the playoffs. I think that finishes after the regular season. I'm not too sure. So, like this season, I mean, who's the man of steel going to go to? That's going to be interesting to see who picks the Steve Prescott Man of Steel up. So, I mean, regarding our awards, do we give an award away for the one who's got the most free word match report, man of the match?
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting, I think, isn't it? Because we were discussing that one the other week about who was leading. I can't remember who it was now, but it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, we normally do 2, don't we? We normally have the 3-word match report one, and then we have like a vote one as well. Possibly. We never had ladies team before though, have we? So do we do?
No.
We'll have to probably do one for the ladies. That's us spitballing live on air, so we'll have to have a discussion about that.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So, other news: the 150 club, the latest prize is a kicking masterclass with Mark Sneed. That's fantastic. So we talked about Mark Sneed's success rate. So if you want to kick goals, go on, get involved in this 150 club, and Mark will tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, some good prizes with that. I've not joined that 150 club yet, but I'm thinking about it because I'm not going to Catalan, so I feel guilty for not going there. So I might try and save up some money next couple of weeks. If I can have a couple of good weeks at work, do a bit of overtime, that's something I'd like to join that. But I don't think I'd be very good at doing a kicking masterclass because I was out with Dixon tonight. Took a couple of tennis balls from him and I tried to kick it out of my hand and my hip nearly went. So I think my body's on the way out. I think I'm like an old man. Oh, God.
Yeah, and if Mark Sneed can't do it, Demi will.
Yeah. Oh, are you? You sure?
I'm not going to go kicking goals either, Paul. Really, I'm one of them old-fashioned 1960s kickers that just toe bung.
Toe ender. Yeah.
That's mine.
I'm like that when I play football. Toe ender.
So yeah, it's a great thing. Get involved in it, and opportunity to get taught by Mark Sneed kicking goals. Other news: Castleford away, Bank Holiday Monday is now 3:30 kickoff. Is on Sky. So obviously be a big game that with the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll have to make sure they've took the minerals before that game, won't they? John Wilkins there. So, well, yeah, it'd be nice to be on Sky. We've not been on Sky very often this season, have we? So, I think that was originally, was it an evening game that originally?
I think so.
Yeah, so I think afternoon's better, isn't it? Afternoon in Yorkshire, it's going to be a big game because I think that's one of the ones that, for me, is a 4-pointer, I suppose, isn't it? Because you're taking 2 points off a side that you're challenging. Because at the moment, if you look at the league table, you've got sort of us, Leeds, Castleford, who are all in and around that top 6, and then you've got Hull and Hulk just behind us, breathing down our neck. So, what have I got there? Do the maths. We've got 5 teams there. Probably going for 2 places, so I think the top 4 is more or less settled now, isn't it? With Wigan Saints, Huddersfield, and Catalan. So you're fighting for 2 spaces, so it's going to be exciting. You can't really have an error now. I mean, I'm looking at the fixtures this week. Cass have got Huddersfield, so could do with Huddersfield losing a favour on Thursday night. And it's be exciting. That's going to be a massive game, that.
Yeah. Other news, Masters Rugby is being held at West Hart Lions on a Monday, 7 till 8. Opportunity to go down, I think, if you're over 35, I think it is, and go and play some Rugby League. It's always exciting. You spoke to one of our England international Masters players, didn't you, recently? So I'm sure there's talent out there waiting to be discovered.
Yeah, Tony Prescott. Yeah, had a nice brew with Tony, and he's very passionate about Masters Rugby League, and yeah, there's a lot of people who are involved in that now. So I think it's great. I think they go all the way up to, I think, some of the guys who are in the 60s, 70s who are playing. So it's one of those. If you've played sport for a long time, why should, just because you've got to a certain age, you have to stop? I mean, if you're enjoying it and you can still do it in your mobile, I think it's great to keep going and keep active. So yeah, it's I believe it's very competitive as well. So and I'm sure it is, because sport can get like that as you get older, I think.
Yeah. Also, there's touch rugby available at Cadizhead Rhinos. Also on Monday, 7 till 8, £2 for non-members. Different kind of game. Touch rugby, super fast, have to be super athletic. But if that's your game, that's your game.
Yeah, I always thought Salford were playing touch rugby in the early 2000s when we should tackle anybody. But, no, fast game. Yeah, is that the one where you've got to pull the things out of the shorts? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. That, I mean, any form of rugby leagues is top quality, isn't it? But yeah, if you get involved with that, I'm pretty sure that'll keep you active. Sounds pretty quick. Sounds a bit too quick for me, that.
Yeah, a little bit too quick for me as well, I think. But back in the day, it might have been all right. But the head's willing, but the legs aren't.
Yeah, you'd have to sort of sit at the back there when you and guide the team about, I think, wouldn't you? Reading the ball about.
Game manage it.
Yeah.
Also, at Cadizhead, they've got a festival rugby planned on Saturday. Car boot sale. The first team are playing, and there's also a touch rugby competition as well. All starts from 8:30 onwards. So if you're in the Cadizhead area on Saturday, go down and enjoy that.
Yeah, there's plenty going on there. Sounds a good day, doesn't it? I'm not so sure what the weather's going to be like. It's going to be a bit cooler this week, so you might find it a bit more comfortable. But no, sounds good.
Yeah. So before we go to Whiteside's World of Rugby League, I spoke to Learning Disabilities rugby player for Salford Red Devils, Sean Robinson, and Heather Robinson about what's going on in the world of Disability Rugby League. And this is what they have to say. 3. Yep. So we're joined by Sean Robinson from the Learning Disability team and Heather Robinson. Welcome both. Sean, looking forward to your first time on the podcast.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're a keen listener and coming on talking all about the Learning Disability team. It's exciting what's been happening this year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's good. Obviously, Heather, we're looking forward to the things that we're coming forward with the disability teams, and it's great what they've achieved so far this season.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't think anyone ever expected that this would come out of the teams that Craig started to set up at the beginning of the year and earlier. I don't think anyone ever imagined we'd get the numbers through that we have been doing.
Yeah. So I'll start with you, Sean. How did you get into Rugby League?
Because my mum's friend got me in it.
And obviously, is she a Salford fan as well?
And she got me like she is good. Still goes to watch Salford.
Good. And obviously, you've come to to try for Salford. How did that come about? Did you hear about the team in the news or?
No, I went to watch the game.
Yeah. And obviously you thought, I'll have a go with this, and then have you heard about the disability team and you thought you'd have a go?
Yeah.
And obviously you came down to that first training session. What was that like?
It was amazing.
Lots of people you knew?
Yeah.
And what was it like? Obviously, you obviously never played rugby before, so what was that like in training? With the coaches.
It was good, and I've been helping all different people out.
Yeah, And obviously, rugby league, it's all about inclusion and everybody having fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, you've played for Salford. What was that first game like when you pulled on that Salford shirt?
It was brilliant, and everyone got his own one, Sean Robinson.
Right. And obviously, that's a dream when the crowd sings your name, isn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, you're our star goal kicker as well. Obviously, when did you find out you could kick goals?
I've been practicing.
Have you? And what was that first goal like when you kicked it over the post for the first time?
It was amazing.
Was it?
Yeah.
How far out were you? Were you like 5 feet, 10 yards out, 20 yards out? Was you a long way?
Yeah, it was between the rubber post and the 20 yards.
And obviously, you sailed through the post, and you were like, "Wow!"
Yeah.
And obviously, then you went on to kick 6 more, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And obviously, have you got targets that you've got yourself set for this season? How many more goals do you want to kick?
100.
100 is not a. Is that obviously you've got quite well. How many goals have you kicked so far? Lots. I think Mark Sneeze kicked about 103. Have you anywhere near that?
Not yet.
Not yet. Still working on it, which is fine. Mark's looking over his shoulder though. That's the important thing. Obviously, you played in different festivals. What was the best festival that you enjoyed?
Lee.
And obviously, why was that?
Because I scored my first try, and that's where I'd done my 6 kicks.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, with different times, different festivals. Have you played in other festivals? Did you go to Magic Weekend?
Yeah.
And what was that like playing in front of all them people?
It was. Everyone was cheering and clapping and taking pictures and filming it.
Yeah. And obviously, playing in front of all them people, it's an amazing experience, isn't it? With all our Salford fans there cheering you on.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're hoping that with more festivals to come, you'll get more crowds and enjoy playing rugby in front of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've got Widnes this weekend, hoping that the team will, play well and play some good rugby.
Yeah. I won't be on telly.
Yeah, you want to be on telly? Is that what?
Yeah.
Obviously, we all want to be on telly, don't we? But
Yeah.
I suppose if you keep playing well and keep kicking goals, there's no reason why not.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be good fun. Obviously, Paul Parkin, one of our presenters, he went down to watch you sort of play the AJBL, and he said it was sort of really, exciting. There was lots of camaraderie between all the different teams, and it's great to see that our team and other teams all getting along and having fun at the same time.
Yeah.
And obviously, do you feel that when you sort of when you're playing that everybody's sort of helping each other?
Yeah. I help different people as well.
And that's exciting. Obviously, you playing for Salford, have you told your sort of family and friends that you're doing it, and are they interested in coming down maybe and helping out?
Yeah.
Or supporting you?
Yeah.
That's the important thing, I suppose. When you get big crowds, people will want to come and support you, and that makes your experience even better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very exciting.
It is exciting times, and obviously, we've covered it on the podcast, and I'm sure that going into next season there'll be more festivals to come, and you'll be sort of kicking goals there too.
Yeah.
Obviously, you say you scored your first try. I'm sure you'll be looking at scoring a few more. Have you got a target for how many more you're going to get?
Just many if possible.
Yeah, but that's what it is. You want to be a bit of a points machine, kicking all them goals and scoring all them tries. That's the plan in it for your team.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So Heather, looking forward to the festival this weekend, and obviously since you've been on, any sort of things happening, obviously regarding the exposure to disability rugby?
So I mean, we've just had an amazing season, really, both on the PD side and on the learning disability side. So we have been working with Bradford to enter teams into festivals, and so last week we had what is probably they're considering, well, it was their home festival, but it's kind of our home festival because we're kind of one team. So that was an amazing experience. They had, you know, like their cheerleaders down there, they had like their Bulls fans down there, and that was brilliant, even though it was, you know, massively warm, especially in that little valley where Odsall's hidden. It was so hot. But you know, we've just seen that just completely, you know, absolutely blow up, and people are so interested in what we're doing, and people are coming down and seeing us, and you know, learning more about what's going on. Obviously we've got the PD World Cup happening in the UK. That's going to be around the same time as the other World Cups, which is huge for us, and it's going to be really local to us as well in Warrington. We've got a lot of our players playing for Wales in that, so we're going to have that exposure. So I just think, you know, next season is going to, you know, absolutely be Salford's year, and we're going to go out there and we're going to, you know, show them who we are.
Yeah, the exposure's sort of unbelievable, really. Obviously, with the World Cup coming up, and obviously our sort of teams growing sort of in popularity. It's from what, you know, it began. Did you ever see this sort of in the sort of the future?
I mean, absolutely not at all. I mean, I just kind of went into it as a, you know, a bit of fun and something to kind of do and get me out of the house, and it just really grew, and you're seeing kind of other clubs that are like 2, 3, 4 years down the journey, and they're, you know, they've got this kind of, you know, one club ethic. I don't know if you saw like what Castleford put out with their you know, list of all their current players, and on all of their PD players and LD players were included on there, and we were invited to go over to Leeds to do the Guard of Honour with the LD players, and we were been invited to do amazing things at Salford, like we got to play at the AJPL. So, you know, there's definitely, we're seeing it being recognised, and you know, I see that how the women's has grown, and I can only see that that's something that we will grow as well in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think it's all about exposure, really. Obviously, you know, the more exposure your teams get, sort of the bigger they become, don't they? And obviously, the more publicity they get, more people know they exist, then more people come down and watch. And that's what, you know, that's what being a community club is all about.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I love how Salford particularly is bought into all of the teams that we have. And you know, if you think back a few years, there's no way that people would turn up on, you know, on a Wednesday night to watch the women's team play, or to watch any of the disability teams play, but people are doing now. And you know, we're playing at Widnes on Saturday, and you know, we've said that we'd love to see people down there, especially if they're not traveling over to France. You know, and I know that people will come and see us. You know, and the same with the final weekend, which is the PD finals are happening in Manchester. So you know, again, we're hoping that people are going to make that short journey to see us, if we're not in a semi-final on the day.
Well, yeah,
so,
that's a big thing, I suppose. But you know, you could always ask them to switch it, or we could go early. I suppose that if we are in the semi-final, it won't be played at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, will it? It'll be played probably evening for Sky, so people could probably do both.
Yes, exactly.
Which is an exciting thing. Obviously, you need the sort of the crowds in. Obviously, talking about the summer holidays and the great thing that the Salford Red Devils Foundation do with these programs that are run. Are you seeing sort of potential players coming through that?
Yeah, and we're also seeing kind of it going the other way. So I know Sean's been taking part in some of the programs that are being run at Eccles College, and has been playing sports, which has given more opportunity to spend time with like teammates and friends. And you know, Sean very generously invited us all to his 30th birthday party recently, and you know, we're not supposed to say he's 30, but you know, he's like embarrassed. So to his birthday party, and it was just great seeing everyone having fun. And you know, some of these guys that are on the team, you know, potentially might not have had that previously, but they've got that opportunity to kind of hang out with people, and like carry on that friendship, which is all you really want, isn't it, from a team?
Sean, you're 30. Are you the old man of the team? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Do you
He
feel
looks
old?
after us. He does.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, obviously. Have you enjoyed going down in the summer? Doing these programs with the Salford Red Devils Foundation, Sean.
Yeah.
What's the best part about going down with your friends?
Watching Salford win.
That's the exciting thing. Obviously, it's a community club, and that's what we've all dreamed about all these years, isn't it, Heather? And now we're starting to see that happen, aren't we?
Yeah, and it is amazing that the club have they've given the guys tickets to go and watch, and we've been able to go down, and even when we've lost and it's been horrible, the guys have picked it up and come back again the next week to watch them again, and watching them win is obviously the best part. But it's also about going to watch the rugby with your mates and with your teammates, and just kind of doing all that normal stuff that sometimes people with disabilities don't get the opportunity to do.
And obviously it's about inclusion, and obviously people with disabilities, like you say, sometimes don't get that opportunity. So for the club to run these teams and these programs, it allows people who might not get that opportunity to come down and play.
Yeah, and people like I play, and like people, I never thought that I'd ever be able to put on a Salford shirt and play in a game at all. I never thought that would happen, and so it's just an amazing opportunity that no matter who you are now at Salford, there is a team that you can get involved in some way, and I think it's just about making sure that people know that whoever you are, you can come to Salford and you can either play, or if you want to volunteer or you want to be involved in some way with something, we absolutely want that, and we want people to feel that this is like our club and they're our teams, and anyone can be involved in it. It really doesn't matter who you are or what you look like.
No, and obviously, if people are listening to this and they think, "Oh, how do I get involved in this?" How do they do that, Heather?
So the best way is to get in touch with the foundation. So it's Craig Fisher who runs the programs. So I always share stuff on Twitter, and I'm sure that you've shared it before, but if they want to get in touch with Craig, or on the club website there's links to the foundation as well if they just want to get in touch there. We're usually about at most home games, so if anybody sees any of us around, just please feel free to grab us and just ask any questions that you want to. We train on a Tuesday night at Eccles College, 7 o'clock. We're there every week, so you can just turn up if you don't want to take part the first time. That's fine. If you just want to watch and get an idea of what's going on, absolutely fine as well. We just want people who want to be involved with us, and that's kind of in any form. It can be volunteering, or just playing, or doing whatever it is that you want to do.
What's the best part about training, Sean?
I made some new friends, and I like playing with different people.
Cool. And you keep fit as well, which is important.
Yeah.
Especially at your age.
And my favorite player is when Sneed play for Salford.
Yeah, well, he's been looking over his shoulder now because you're out on his heels, aren't you, with all this goal kicking you're doing?
Yeah.
So it's been amazing chatting to you both. Just before we let you go, Heather, let's talk about your sideline. We talk playing for Wigan Warriors wheelchair team. How's that going?
Really well. I've still not made it into the first team because they're absolutely amazing, and they're in the run-in at the moment to the grand final. They're outstanding. We've got England internationals on the team, and I think we've got Ireland internationals, and I think we've even got a USA international now on there. So I think it'll be a while before I can break into that.
I'm thinking, someone will go down, like in the final, and then they'll turn to you and they'll think, "Come on."
Like Jimmy Grimble style. Is that what I'm going to be?
That's super sub. Come on, with about a minute to go and win the cup for him. That's the plan.
Yeah, I can do that. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And then eventually, when we do get a wheelchair team, you can be the shining
Yeah.
light, because you've been there before, because you've been at the very top level.
Exactly. I know. I really want. I can't wait till Salford hopefully get a wheelchair team. I think will be amazing, and I love wheelchair because it is so inclusive, because anyone can play it. You know, like able-bodied people and people with disabilities, and so it is just so open to anyone. And it's just a really great but quite brutal sport.
Yeah, they don't hang about. They don't mess about, do they? I've seen
No.
highlights of them being thrown out of chairs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's, like you said, brutal.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Big thanks for joining us both, and we'll stay in touch and let us know everything that's going on in the world of Disability Rugby League.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talking to me, Paul, about what's going on in the world of Disability Rugby League, and obviously, loads going on. Very enjoyable chat. Sean told us all about his goal kicking, and how he's chasing Max Need to be the club #1 kicker.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, and they've done great this season, haven't they? Like I said the other week, I saw to go on. Excitement there, I think, was tremendous, and very good season, and it's great to see him always smiles on the face and everybody enjoying it. So long may that continue. But yeah, Max needs to have to watch out there, isn't he? He's gonna have a bit of a challenge there for his goal kicking, definitely.
Yeah. So that's all the news and the chat. Podcast, another great show, Paul.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's getting to that time of the season now where it's hotting up and playoffs are coming. I actually watched a video on Twitter the other day about how the playoffs work, because I wasn't sure how they work, because they've changed that many times. And it's quite simple, actually, the top 6 this time. So yeah, it's getting exciting.
It's quite simple. We just keep playing until Salford get in the 6th. That's basically how it works, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be tough if we finish 6th. You've got to play away from home all the way to Old Trafford by the looks of it, and we'll probably have to go and beat St Helens, where a place we haven't won for 42 years. But knowing now, we'll beat Catalan away, beat St Helens away, then lose the grand final. So we'll see. Let's get in there first. Like Paul Rowley says, it's a week at a time, isn't it? So we'll take each game as it comes.
Yeah. So that's the end of this week's podcast. Big thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, you can donate through our Ko-fi to help us sort of fund the podcast, buying programs and equipment. Big thanks for tuning into this week's podcast. I'm Bro Parkinson. You can find us on Facebook, Devil in the Detail SRD. You can find us on Twitter at DITDSRD. And you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Radio Contact, Spotify, and YouTube. See you soon.